Hello there everyone. Today I'm going to tie one of my all-time favorite pike flies. This is a very nice fly, and it's of course also I think going to be very good for muskies. What we're going to do is we're going to do this on a shank, and I like these fish skulls, articulated big gape shanks very much because they are thick in the wire, so they are heavy. And what we're going to do is first of all we're going to take something that is originally meant for tube flies, which is kind of like a small silicone thing, and then we're gonna attach this to the hook. So I'm gonna pull this over my eye of the hook here, like this. You see, right down there. Then I'm gonna take the shank here, and I'm gonna attach this in the eye of the hook, like so, because when we're done tying, then this silicone hook guide will make sure that this fly that this hook will stay fixated. So that's it for later on. I do this in the shank has two ends, and one of these ends is rather larger than the other one, and I'm gonna tie on so that the smaller one is gonna be the front part of this fly. This I'm doing because the reason why I'm attaching this shank is because I want this fly to have a longer profile, and I want my hook to be moved further back to ensure that my hooking percentage is very high. Good. Then I'm attaching my tying thread. Here I'm using an 0.8. 8.0 Vevus thread, a very nice thread that has a lot of strength, so I can really pull everything nice and tight, which is something I want. What we want to use for this fly is a bundle of materials. I'm going to use some pink marabou. This fly is going to be very pink. Then of course I'm going to use some of this, my all-time favorite material for big flies, the big fly fiber, and then we're going to use 3 different types of flash. We're going to use some ordinary holographic flash aboo, some lateral scales in silver, and then some opal colored, and this flash is just to die for, you know, some opal colored magnum flash aboo. Truly amazing length and breadth of this flash. I just simply adore this product. Like so. Well, and then we're going to use some microlon, and finally some saddle feathers and some ram's wool, and the head and stuff like that. But we'll all get to that. This is a bit complicated fly, and it's going to be a very large fly, but it's a cool pattern. It looks absolutely astonishing, and it looks completely magnificent in the water. First of all, I'm tying down a marabou feather. This is going to be a marabou hackle. It's going to be the base of the fly, and kind of like just give the fly a nice start to make sure that this fly has a lot of life, and also have a lot of life and looks good from below. Just turning my marabou feather here. This you probably could do, could start off with some bucktail or something like that as well, but I like the marabou, so I'm gonna stick to that. It's amazing. It's amazing actually how tough these marabou feathers are, really. Because when I first started tying pike flies, I was a bit hesitant about marabou and other feather materials, because I thought they were gonna get ripped to shreds very fast by the pike's teeth. But my experience is that these feathers are actually some of the stuff that lasts the longest. So do not hesitate, do not feel afraid to apply feathers and stuff like that to your pike flies or musky flies, because it will stick on there and it will last a long time. Actually, often it's one of the few things that are left when the day has gone by and you've landed and hooked a lot of big fish. Next off is a bundle of this big fly fiber. This is a long fiber which has a curly end, which makes it ideal for big streamers, big flies for pike and stuff like that, because it will make your fly swim just absolutely incredible in the water. Just tying this down. As you can see here, I'm not doing this fly to win any awards in regards to my use of thread. I'm just gonna simply hammer a lot of thread on here to make sure that this fly is as durable as I want it to be. This is, well, a fairly expensive fly to make because of the abundance of materials I'm gonna use, but that's also one of the reasons why it's important that you do not spare any thread on this fly, simply to make sure that you have a fly here that will last you a long time. Okay, next up is the holographic Flytying in pink. A nice color. I'm very fond of these holographic colors. They tend to have an enormous amount of reflection in the water. And in this thinner version of this original Flytying, it also moves very nicely in the water and adds a lot of movement to your fly. What I did before I was tying it down is just to make sure that every single strand is of unequal length compared to the other fibers. This ensures that the fly will not just hang there, but will actually move a lot, because all these different lengths will be affected by different movements of currents in the water. So you will have a fly that is way more vivid, way more diverse, and look better in the water. So a bundle of this flash material here. Tie this down using a lot of thread, and when you're tying pike or musky flies, you don't ever cut anything off. You just turn it over and tie it down to secure your fly even more firmly, but also to make sure that any flesh you cut off is just wasted. You don't want to waste any material, just want to have more and more materials on here. So that was kind of the first stage of this fly. And now it's actually just kind of rinse and repeat. Gonna move my thread here a bit further up the shank. Just about here, I think. It's gonna be good. And as you can see, I'm making a very sound base of tying thread here as well. And this is again to ensure that when I tie down my materials, I'm gonna be 100% sure that they are fastened as completely as I possibly can. Around there is good. Taking my second bundle of big fly fiber. And while I'm turning, as you can see, I'm applying a lot of pressure to make sure that this goes exactly where I want it to be. You could use some super glue and stuff like that to be more sure that to ensure your materials even further, but this is not very good for me to do while I'm doing this video. because I would have to wait and, you know, get my fingers stuck on the fly all the time and stuff like that. I'm sure that would make, well, at least entertaining video to watch. But for the sake of the demonstration, I'm not gonna do that. But of course, you could add some varnish or something like that to your fly at each of these stages. This would, of course, also improve the fly's durability greatly. Now up is the Opal Flashaboo, the Opal Magnum Flashaboo, and the Magnum Flashaboo. Well, I think I said it before, but I cannot stress this enough. Is just absolutely wonderful. It's important that when you buy this, it comes the strip here. This one hangs in the middle. So what you do is you take it and you pull it all the way out to the end. That way you get the full length, all 52 centimeters. I think it's 20 inches, 20 American inches in length. This is, which is a length that is just absolutely fantastic. Again, I'm taking the material here and I'm making sure all the ends is uneven. Like so. Tying this down so this is gonna be the same length as my big fly fiber. I'm just gonna tie this on top. I am using approximately 10 fibers, 10 strands or something like that. That is sufficient for this stage of the fly. 10 strands is sufficient. As you can see, I tied it down once and then secure it with tying it down once more on top of that first one, like so. And then I'm gonna take some of these lateral scales. Lateral scales is a very thick flesh material that is crinkled along with it, so it reflects light in a peculiar and very good way compared to all other flesh, because this will reflect light when none of the other flesh materials will do, and also when you have these thick fibers, they will move independently. So I'm taking maybe 6 or something like that of these fibers, again making sure, as always, that my lengths are uneven. Applying these. You could apply these one by one to to ensure you get the exact effect that you want. But well, as I said before, this is a demonstration video, so I'm just gonna rough it a bit. So I've distributed them almost evenly all the way around this fly here. And if you want, you can take these stickers that are sticking out here and turn those over as well. Like that. Well, so far so good. Next off is a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky part, because what we want to do now is we want to make a hackle out of microlon. This very cool, light, vibrant material, and we're going to do that combined with pink Flashaboo. Pink holographic Flashaboo, to make a nice long, nice sparkly hackle that will make the fly swim better and add a lot of intensity and vitality to the fly. So what I did was making a dubbing loop right about here. I'm gonna hang that off to the side. Then I'm gonna take a big bundle of flash here. Holographic Flashaboo in pink, like so. Again, making sure this is of uneven lengths. I'm going to take a bundle of microlon. The same goes for the microlon. Gonna make sure the lengths are uneven. Gonna put these two on top of one another as you can see here. And then I'm gonna try to mix them in between one another. So I have these two materials nicely mixed up, and then I'm gonna put them inside my dubbing loop, like so. Gonna make sure that one end of the material is a bit longer than the other one. Then I'm gonna spread these materials out so they're not lying on top of one another. This material will maybe be something like 2.5 inch, something like that, in the dubbing loop here. You see, like that. Taking my dubbing twister. If you want it, the easiest way is just to hold it in a slightly downward angle, because then the material will actually, well, due to the force of gravity, will be easier to distribute. But it's that's also easier for me to show you, because if I show you everything in a downward angle, you actually won't see that much. So I'm setting my reel to spin here. And then everything is mayhem. I'm gonna help it along here. And as you can see, what I'm actually creating here is a very, very large, very long hackle made from combining this microlon, which is one of the uniquely great materials I've found for doing exactly this, and making it long, and then the fleshaboo. This is, as I said before, the most tricky part of this fly. This is the one that takes a bit of practice, but when you have done this a couple of times, then it's gonna be fairly easy for you. Fairly easy for you. Here it is also that your thick thread really is important, because you need to make sure this loop is completely turned all the way up towards the shank, all the way in this end as well, because if your loop is not tight all the way up there, then the materials in the end will not have been completely fastened inside your loop, and will not have been shit. That is exactly what is not supposed to happen, you know. my dubbing loop just exploded on me, but well, I managed to save it by a quick action of my my hackle plier. So when you're doing this, be sure that you have your hackle plier ready at hand. Then you can save a lot of grief, as I did just now. Okay, so now I have groomed the material. Everything is ready. Everything is good to go. I'm satisfied with the result. So what I'm doing now is, just to make everything easy, I'm going to take a lot of saliva here to force every material downwards. This is going to be important, because this is going to make the turning of this hackle so much easier. Ever so much easier. Like that. And then I'm simply just gonna turn this just as an ordinary hackle. Every turn, gonna ensure that I hold every material back here. The reason why I'm not just tying these in two bundles is, when you're doing it like this in a hackle kind of like thing, you will get every material to stand out more, and it will have a lot more bulk and a lot more move a lot more water before it out in the water, and the materials will stand out better from this fly. There we go. When you're doing dubbing loops with flesh and other materials, it's important that the materials you're using is actually suited for making these dubbing loops. And the microlon is one of the best materials I've ever encountered for exactly this. As you can see, all the microlon and all the flesh are now hanging out there, adding a lot of effect to this fly, like so. What I want now, because I really think this fly needs a bit more bling, so I'm gonna take a bundle of flesh as well. This is just gonna be the pink flesh. I'm just gonna attach this to, again, making sure it's not even in length. Just gonna attach this to the top of the fly here. Like that. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take some of these large saddle feathers. I'm gonna take some in grizzly pink, and I'm gonna take some in just ordinary grizzly color, and I'm gonna add these to the fly as well. These I'm gonna tie down one at a time to make sure that these are exactly where I want them to be. These just looks absolutely stunning on a fly like this, and also contributes to the overall movement of this fly in the water. Like so. I'm gonna take one more. I'm not gonna use any natural colors for this one. I think these will suffice. Like that. Cutting off, and here I actually am cutting off some leftover materials. Well, there's a first for anything. And the final thing that we're gonna tie down to attach this fly is we're gonna use some pink ram's wool. This is a nice material for making heads, because it's fairly long, and it has a bit of bulk, and it works very well for making heads for flies. So I'm taking a bundle of this. I'm taking my brush here, just to make sure I get every part of this, every single part of this that I don't want. All the fur, the under fur. I don't know what that's called in English, but well, maybe perhaps if you know the correct term, you can write it in the comment box below here. So I have this nice looking, fairly long material here, and I'm gonna tie this down. As soon as I get this untangled, I'm going to tie this down all the way up at the front of the fly. I'm going to lay this so it's going to go completely around the fly here, and then I'm going to secure it right there. I'm not completely satisfied with that. I'm going to redo that. making sure this is fastened, making a whip finish, not getting too much stuck on there. Like so. And the reason why I'm tying this down so it's sticking out in front is I'm gonna use something called a Pro soft head in a second to force this back, this backwards over and behind on this fly to create a very nice head effect. I've changed the perspective a little so you can see what I'm gonna do for this final stage of the fly. I'm gonna take something called a Pro soft head, which is a kind of like a soft rubbery head made from some kind of rubber, and these are very nice because you don't have to muck about with an enormous amount of glue that will make the fly look a bit clumsy and also too heavy in the front. So these heads are just very easy to attach. You simply just push them over here, and they comes with a very small nice groove here. So what you do is you just take a small amount of super glue. Just gonna add a small bundle there. Take an eye of the appropriate size here. Stick it on there, like so. Make it fit inside. And there you have it. And of course you're gonna do exactly the same thing on the other side. One last thing that you could do is just to attach a small drop of super glue here in front of the fly. This will then move in and grip both the head and the ram's wool, the sculpin wool, and finish off the fly. Well, there you have it, the the pink bastard. A very nice pattern that I've caught an enormous amount of pikes on, and this is going to be great for muskie as well, no doubt about that. Well, those were the words. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, and please, of course, subscribe to this channel.